Hi, everyone. I just wanted to create a little video today. It's Jennifer O'Mazary, and the video is about anxiety, okay? We all go through anxiety. I don't as much anymore because I've just done a few things to shift it, and you can do the same. So I just want to talk about what anxiety feels like, what it is. I mean, anxiety is different for everyone. And for me, it feels like this overwhelming feeling, sometimes trembling, shaking, mind going crazy, breathing heavily, at times heart palpitations, sometimes just heart beating so fast, sweating. I mean, I can go through a list of things that I've gone through when it came to anxiety. And all my anxieties have stopped or been lessened or just don't even show up ever since I've started this spiritual journey. Now, what is anxiety? Anxiety is when we're sitting there and we let our thoughts go wild, okay? Our thoughts run wild into our, from our mind, and it's going and going and going. And our emotions are like, hey, let me try and catch up with you. And they cannot, okay? This is when the anxiety starts. And this is what causes your heart to start racing, your mind. This is what causes the sweating. This is what causes everything. And, we need to stop doing that. Um, you know, I have to say, as a child, I feel like it's a learned behavior because I used to always see this all around me. It was like, okay, my mother would be overthinking things, my friends would be overthinking things. Anybody who was around, everybody would be overthinking things. So I'm saying to myself, oh, okay, this is how it goes. No, that is not how it goes. Okay. That is all stuck in the third dimension. Now, the third dimension was created to keep us stuck. Words were created to keep us stuck. Okay. And words are like spells. I know I've said this before. Words are like spells. So if we're going to sit here and we're going to say to ourselves, before we even get to a situation, what the outcome is going to be, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to be like, what it's going to happen at that outcome, you're creating anxiety. Now, 9 out of 10 times, okay, I guarantee you that every single idea that you have created in your mind that's going to happen when you show up somewhere is not going to happen. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. So me, back in my college years, I would have to do a presentation in every class. And this was part of the whole grading situation. It was just the end of the year project, and it was just something I had to do. And in every class, and I used to just sit there and I used to just look at like, oh, I got to do this. Oh my God. And then, the thoughts would start at the beginning of the semester. Okay. I have about 90 days until I get to the end, but I'm thinking about this now. Really? I'm thinking about this now. This is 90 days later. It does not have to be thought about, but this is how it works. This is what people do. This is what the humans do. I don't know why. We have to stop doing that. We have to start living in the moment. Okay. So, like I said, I would be having such anxiety about what's to come 3 months later. Okay. All of a sudden, we're at the end of the year. I have to do this big project and I have a fear of being seen. It's not just public speaking. It's not just anxiety. It's also a fear of being seen. Okay. I guess it's from one of my past lives of being beheaded or something. Who knows? So I have a fear of being seen. I have all these anxieties that have been pent up for 3 months. I'm carrying this all through, okay? And you can just imagine how I am at this point in time. Boy, I'm just a bag of emotions. Now, what happens? I deliver my speech. I do what I have to do. I calmly, do this. let me tell you something. Before I got up there, my heart was going, you know, and the sweat was pouring down me. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm just going to look at the tip of their heads, you know. And so it looks like I'm looking at them, but I'm really not, you know. So this is my tactic. Okay. At the end of this, I'm like, oh my God, what did I have to stress about? It went great. You know, I pulled it off. All right. Yes, maybe I maybe stuttered a few times during the whole presentation, but otherwise it was good. I knew my stuff. Nobody sat there and questioned me. There was nothing that I thought in my whole experience of what was going to happen happened. None of that happened. At that point in time, I'm like, okay, what am I stressing about? But I'm going to be honest with you, it didn't stop there. Of course, I kept on carrying on and doing the same behavior until I learned, okay, from my mentor that this is not good behavior. We don't do this. We don't sit here. We don't go into the future. The future has not occurred yet, okay? And now I'm going to get to the present moment where we need to be present, okay? Because what is happening? New Earth is generated, okay? There's new Earth now. So what does that mean for us? That means that these energies are so high. There is no need for anxiety anymore. It's all back in third dimension, okay? We already have 12th dimension locked into new Earth, okay? We don't need to be in third dimension anymore. People are still there, but I'm not there, okay? I'm in 5D most of the time. I do go back and forth and vacillate. I'm going to be honest with you, because there's times where I close my cabinet in my kitchen and I go back and I'm like, I know I closed that, but I'm vacillating back and forth. So I am working very hard to stay present in 5D, okay? Because I don't want to go back and forth. I want to be in my highest timeline always. But let's just get back to the anxiety. So getting back to the anxiety point of view, in order to do this, in order to get rid of that anxiety, we have to be super, super present. And what does that mean when I say being super, super present? When I say that, I don't want you to sit there and think about, you know, what your next step is, where you're going, how it's going to be. I don't want you to sit there and think about the future, because the future hasn't happened yet. We have not created the future. So how can we sit there and think about how it's going to be if we haven't created it? Okay. And the future comes right after what we're doing, right? But you can't create the future if you're not in the present moment. And the other thing is, you're going to lose beautiful things that are going to come in the present moment. I mean, for me, when I'm walking my dogs, I'm seeing butterflies, I'm seeing dragonflies, I'm seeing mushrooms, I'm seeing the beautiful landscape. I'm looking at the sun, I'm looking at the clouds, I'm looking at the beautiful colors sometimes that I see when I'm in 5D in the sky. You know, sometimes like it's radiating out of my third eye. I can't see it through my eyes, but I see it through my third eye. It's radiating out. I see the pinks, I see the blues, I see the yellows, and that's what I want to be. But I would miss all that if I was not in the moment. So this is why I'm making this video. You have to stop like letting your mind run rapidly. And how do we do that? A lot of self-talk. Every time your mind's like going, listen, you have to say stop. We haven't even gotten there yet. I have to stay in the moment. I have to stay super, super present because of the energies. And second of all, this is another thing that I want to bring into this conversation is miscreations. Okay. We don't want to cause miscreations. And what a miscreation is, let me just give you an example of what that would be. So I was doing payroll the other day. I was supposed to, send out checks for X, Y, and Z, all these people. I actually missed 3 people I had to write checks to. Long story short is my husband calls me. He's like, Jen, where's these checks? I'm like, oh my God, I forgot these checks. So what happened was that point in time, like, oh no, I just miscreated because I was not in the moment. I was not paying attention to what I was doing. And I was too busy off in a fog. I was too busy thinking about something else. And at that point in time, I'm like, okay, well, how can I make it better? Okay, because the miscreation, I should have, you know, done that task where I didn't forget anything. So I'm thinking, okay, either I have to go and drop off checks. So that's what I had to do. Okay, we cannot do the blame game anymore. You cannot blame anybody. So my job at that point in time was to go and drop off some checks to make it right. So, like I said, being present in the moment, doing a lot of self-talk to stop the anxiety. And listen, I know it's not going to happen right away. I know that. I know that it's going to take a while to train your brain. I mean, some people are going to be quicker than others, but you have to work on it. You have to do this every single day. You have to sit there and stop yourself and say, hey, what's going on? Like, what am I worrying about? What's next to come when I haven't created it yet? And you have to say, stop. We're not doing this. I am in control. Okay. I am in control. The higher self is in control, not the ego, because the ego sometimes gets in there too. The ego's like, hey, what are you doing? When you get there, what's going to happen is they're going to tell you this. Oh, they're going to tell you you're late. Oh, there's a million things that like the ego brings up. The ego sits there and like puts these ideas in your head, and most of them are untrue. Okay, most of them are wrong. So we don't want to do that. We really want to be present in the moment, and this is going to stop the anxiety from happening, because once you do that, guess what? There's nothing to sit there and get upset about, because your emotions are not heightened. Okay, you are no longer in that state of panic because you're not letting your mind run wild. And this is all it takes. Okay, it is work. We all have to do work on ourselves, but it's such a simple task, and we all can do this. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes being in the moment to notice when we're doing those miscreations, and it takes time to be in the moment when our mind is running off where it should not be. Okay, and I know that like you're gonna sit here and you're gonna watch this video and you're gonna be like, really, this is all I have to do? Yes, it's so simple. Everyone can do it. It just takes practice. It just takes being in the moment, and it takes self-talk. You are powerful. You are a creative being. You can do whatever you want. We are like those superheroes that you see on TV. Okay, the Marvels, we are them. That's us. Okay, so we need to sit here and we need to stop the thinking, stop going into the future, stop creating thoughts that do not belong there, and be in the present. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. That's how we stop anxiety. Nothing more than being in the present. It is so easy, but it's a skill that you have to work at. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take work, but you can do it. Okay, every one of you can do it. So thank you for listening. My name is Jennifer El Masri. I love you all and have a wonderful day. Thank you.